guys, it's Ryan from Kansas Bass Fishing, and today we're going to start a new series called Building the Tacklebox. This is going to be mostly for beginners, just so they can understand some of the different types of baits and where they're going to use them. If they're really starting to get into bass fishing, they want to start putting more baits in their tackle box or start using different baits. This will give them kind of an idea of what they should be buying and some of the more basic things that a lot of anglers are going to tell you that are important, that they're going to be important to have in your tackle box. So today we're going to be covering topwater baits. I have 4 main topwater baits that I use, and I'm going to go ahead and tell you kind of how they work and where I like to fish them, like where I'm going to be casting these baits and where I'm going to be putting them. So the first group I'm going to talk about is the popper. I have 3 right here just for examples, but obviously they're all pretty similar. They're all going to have the cupped mouth and kind of a, I'm not exactly sure what to call this body on, but you know, they come to almost like a cone. But what these baits are used for, you're essentially just going to twitch these. They're going to stay in the water for a while because you're just going to keep twitching, and it's going to spit up a lot of water in front of it. What this does is it draws the bass in because they see it as a dying fish. Obviously I have different colors here to mimic whatever the bass are feeding on. But overall, they're mainly going to react to that sound. The color isn't quite as important when, in general, actually, when you're fishing topwater. But these are going to put out a lot of sound. Essentially, what you're going to do is you're just going to twitch it a couple times. You'll see the water spit and kind of make a bloop sound, if you will. And again, it just draws the bass in. I fish these in open waters or up against along shorelines. But yeah, great bait. I love using these because again, the bait stays in the water a lot longer when you're using these. And yeah, you're going to catch a lot of fish when you use these. They're pretty simple to use, but they're very, very effective. Alright, so the next kind of bait I'm going to show you is, it's pretty similar body-wise, but you use it a little bit differently. It's a little bit faster moving. So this bait is called, well, this one's a Zara Spook is what the Zara's a brand. It's called, or Head and Zara Spook is what it's called. Excuse me. But this is considered the original Zara Spook, and what this is it's a walk the dog style bait. And essentially what that means, and obviously it just looks like a stick. I mean, it doesn't look like there's a whole lot to it, but the motion that you use for it is what really brings the bass in. Essentially it's going to twit, you're going to keep, it's going to be a concept called walking the dog. If you guys want a video on that, go ahead and comment and I can make a video showing you guys how to do it. Otherwise, if you just want to look it up, there's plenty of videos on it. And essentially what it's going to do is it's going to walk kind of a winding motion back to the shore, and again it's the motion on it that's going to be drawing the bass in. But I only have one of these. I don't use it a ton. I usually like to use it on lake when I'm fishing at a lake, when I'm on the boat, and the reason is I like to throw it over big areas of points because you can cover a lot of water pretty quick with this bait. But when they're busting on top water and you can see that it's over a point, this is a great bait to use. It'll really bring them in fast. This next bait I primarily use at ponds, but some people use it at lakes, and that is the buzz bait. With this bait, it's got a weighted head, and obviously the hook behind the weighted head. It's got a skirt, and then it's got your propeller here. And what you're going to do, this is literally just a cast and retrieve bait, but you're going to want to keep it on top of the water, and what that's going to do is your weighted and skirt side will be below the water, and that's going to be their striking point. That's what the fish are going to aim for. As you can see, this one's got a trailer hook, which I do recommend for buzz baits because a lot of the time they're going to be behind your bait when you're reeling it in because, again, it's a constant motion. You're always going to be reeling. But that's just basically the propeller is just going to keep churning up the water. Same with this one. It's got a little bit bigger blade on it. And again, it's just going to keep churning up the water, and although it doesn't look a whole lot like a fish, it drives the fish nuts. And that's essentially what makes them strike, is because they become irritated with the bait and they'll come up and strike it. So these are pretty, again, I like using these around ponds. They're real effective early in the morning. The black one I generally use at night more because the fish can pick up on it through the moonlight when it shines through down in the water. But yeah, great baits. Alright, so the last topwater I use, and this has become very, very popular with a lot of anglers, is hollow belly frogs. I have 3 different types here. I think this is one of the HTO. It's one of the Academy brand frogs. This is a Booyah Pad Crasher, and I believe this is, yeah, it's a lunker hunt frog. But you're generally going to use these all about the same. You're going to throw it a lot of the time over mats and different weeds, because the biggest thing about these is they're all weedless. This will be easy to see it on. When you push down on the body, your hooks become exposed, and that's when you're going to get the bass. You're gonna have to let them pull it under, and then they'll strike on. And there's a lot of ways you can really fish these. You can do a slow twitching pattern, walking the dog, just like your Zara spook. That's why I have these legs cut shorter, because when you cut them short, it makes it a little bit easier to do. But essentially, you're just gonna pull it over the pads, and they're gonna strike on. They're gonna strike on it generally. Yeah, it's not the best hookup ratio because of how the hooks are not exposed, you know, ahead of time, but it's weedless, so it's pretty easy to use. Really, and again, your fish is about the same. This one's got a cupped mouth similar to your popper, and they're all hooked together. But anyway, it's got the cupped mouth, so it's going to spit up more water. So I generally twitch this one a little bit slower. And this one right here, the lunker hunt frog, I like to fish a little more in open water. It's a little more realistic because, as you can see, it has the legs that stretch out. What happens with this one is the water hits the feet and it pulls the legs back, so it has a realistic swimming motion. But yeah, these are very effective. It really brings bass in. The biggest problem I have with them is they don't have the best hookup ratio. But as you learn to use them, it's really not hard to keep catching fish with them. I have really become pretty fond of them because I've started catching a lot more fish with these as I've matured in fishing. Well, that's the end of this video. I hope you learned something about fishing topwater baits. If you want videos and more instruction on how to use these, leave a comment and I will hopefully be able to do that for you before it gets too cold out here. And if you like the video, go ahead and give it a like, and don't forget to subscribe. Thanks, guys.